McLaren has truly shaken up the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore, arriving with their most significant upgrade since Austria. Lando Norris describes this as the biggest turnaround in recent Formula One history. Despite a rocky start to the season, McLaren's Austria upgrade put them back on the podium, with Norris clinching victories at the British and Hungarian Grand Prix. They're currently 5th in the championship and are chomping at the bit to edge out Aston Martin. But they're holding their cards close to their chest, waiting to see how their new upgrades perform on track. Among these upgrades are a reshaped front wing end plate, a new sidepod inlet and engine cover, and a fully revised floor body. All designed to improve aerodynamic load and streamline airflow. After Friday's practice sessions, Norris finished 4th and 6th, with Ferrari taking the lead. But McLaren is ready to show what they've got during the qualifying and the race. They're also working on successive upgrades for the MCL60 over the remaining 8 races, with a follow-up to the Austria upgrade in the pipeline. Despite a disappointing run at the Italian Grand Prix, the team remains optimistic. Although McLaren's team principal, Andrea Stella, doesn't anticipate a victory against Red Bull at the next 2 high downforce requiring races, he is hopeful that the upcoming upgrades will secure them a few more podium finishes. But the focus isn't just on this season. McLaren is also working on the development of next year's car, with plans to further exploit aerodynamics. As we speak, they are transitioning to their own wind tunnel at the McLaren Technology Centre in Woking for the development of the 2024 car. Work from this could be brought forward to this year's car, depending on the success of the projects. So, McLaren's goal for the remaining races is clear: more upgrades for the MCL60 and closing the gap to the front runners. Bring on the podium finishes. Well, hello there. This is your mate Enzo, always at the steering wheel of this daily joyride called the F1 Motor Fever podcast. Riding shotgun with me today, as always, is my superb co-pilot, William. Say hello, William.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here again with Enzo, steering you through the twists and turns of the Formula One world.
That's right, William. And hey, if you're as thrilled about this fast-paced world as we are, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, drop us a comment, and share the podcast with your friends, family, and fellow racing aficionados. Your support fuels this wild ride we're on.
Absolutely, Enzo. Every bit of support from our listeners keeps the engines revving.
Now, hold on to your seats, folks, because you won't believe the news I'm about to share. If you thought McLaren was sitting idle, think again. The latest upgrades they're bringing to the races, well, let's just say they're about to hit the afterburners. I can't wait to dig deeper into this with you, William.
Blimey, Enzo Watts, this is going to be one heck of a ride.
Absolutely, William, and guess what? We're just getting started. So, stay tuned, folks. Full throttle. Did you know, back in the year of 2011, McLaren set a record that's still unbeaten?
Really? What's that?
They achieved the fastest pit stop ever recorded in Formula One history at the German Grand Prix. It was an astonishing 2.13 seconds. It's incredible how those few seconds can make such a difference, isn't it?
It truly is. Every fragment of time counts in this sport. And speaking of fast, here's a bit of trivia for you. The Marina Bay Street Circuit, where McLaren recently raced, is known for having the slowest average speed of all the Formula One circuits. But it's also one of the longest, with a total length of 5.065 kilometers. Quite a contrast, isn't it?
Absolutely. It just goes to show that in Formula One, it's not always about pure speed, but strategy and precision too. Well, we've got some significant news coming from McLaren. They've rolled into the iconic Marina Bay circuit with their most hefty upgrade since Austria. Oh, and what an immense turnaround that was.
Indeed, from near the back of the grid to fighting for podiums, it's been quite a journey for McLaren this season.
Absolutely. And now it looks like they're setting their sights on catching up with Aston Martin in the championship. But it's not all smooth sailing. They have yet to see how these upgrades perform on the track.
That's true, and Lando himself has said that it's all a bit unknown at the moment.
Yes, and it's not just small tweaks either. We're talking a full new package of upgrades, from the front wing end plate to the beam wing. It's clear that they're trying to improve aerodynamic load and airflow conditions over the car.
It'll be interesting to see how these upgrades affect their performance. This weekend, Lando will be running the full package, with Oscar Piastri expected to receive the parts at the Japanese Grand Prix next week.
That's right, Lando finished 4th and 6th in Friday's practice sessions, while Ferrari topped both timesheets. The real question is, will these upgrades prove more fruitful during qualifying and the race? We can't wait to see where these new upgrades will take McLaren. Full throttle. Now, onto some more news regarding McLaren. They apparently have several more upgrades planned for the remaining 8 races of this season. This includes a follow-up to the Austria upgrade that transformed them into serious podium contenders.
Interesting. But I remember hearing that the Italian Grand Prix wasn't their best performance, despite the upgrades.
That's correct. The upgrades designed for Monza weren't as successful as expected. The previous Austria upgrades improved the MCL60's performance but also made the car draggier. Hence, new parts were needed to address this issue, especially before taking on Monza's long straights.
And how exactly did they address this issue?
According to McLaren's team principal, Andrea Stella, they focused on reducing the level of drag. He explained that when you put on small rear wings, it reduces the suction at the back of the floor. This causes the floor to offload and the entire car tends to switch off.
To be honest, I didn't quite follow. What exactly does he mean by the car switching off?
Sorry for the confusion. When Stella says the car switches off, he's referring to the loss of the car's overall balance and aerodynamic efficiency. This happens when the rear wing is too small, resulting in less air being directed under the car, which can then affect the car's speed and handling. But let's not digress. They've been able to produce rear wings for very low downforce and are focusing on the first group of upgrades, and the follow-up to the Austria upgrade in the next couple of races.
I see. Thanks for clarifying that. So it's all about finding the right balance between downforce and drag for optimum performance.
That's right. It's a delicate balancing act and we'll see how McLaren navigates it in the upcoming races. As Andrea Stella has shared, McLaren's decision not to attempt another extensive upgrade like they did for the Austrian Grand Prix isn't due to budget restrictions, it's more about time. They're at a point now where they need to start focusing on next year's car.
That's an important point. There's always a fine line between pushing for improvements in the current season and laying the groundwork for the next one.
Exactly. They've realized that to further exploit aerodynamics, there's a need to evolve the chassis and other aspects of the car's layout. They're now more knowledgeable and can add more modifications to the layout of next year's car to gain more aerodynamic benefits.
And they've recently transitioned their wind tunnel testing from Toyota in Germany to their own facility at the McLaren Technology Center in Woking, haven't they?
Yes, they've begun developing the 2024 car in their new wind tunnel, and the transition has been smooth, according to Stella. It's been a logistical advantage and has led to financial savings.
That's brilliant. Efficiency is paramount in this sport, not just on the track, but off it as well. The logistics of constantly traveling to Germany for testing must have been quite a challenge.
Indeed. There are discussions about bringing some of the work being done on next year's car to this year's MCL60. However, it depends on whether they can afford it and if the project is mature enough.
So there's a chance we might see elements of the upcoming car's technology on this year's model. That's a tantalizing prospect. Certainly something to keep an eye on in the upcoming races.
So, it's clear that McLaren has a strategic plan in place for both their current and future cars. It's all about finding a balance between improving the current car and preparing for the next season.
Yes, it's a delicate balancing act. The transition to their own wind tunnel testing facility at the McLaren Technology Center is surely going to be a game changer, both in terms of logistics and financial savings.
Absolutely. And they've already hinted that some of the work being done on the 2024 car might be brought forward to this year's MCL60, depending on cost and project maturity.
It will be fascinating to see how that plays out. Onwards and upwards for McLaren then, as they continue to evolve and innovate. I can't wait to see what they bring to the track in the upcoming races.
Indeed, the remaining races of this season promise to be exciting. McLaren's strategic moves will definitely be something to watch out for. William, have you had a chance to take a peek at the latest discussions on the internet about what's happening in the world of Formula One?
Actually, I think I have something here that might interest our listeners. User IcomCoffee has posted on Sky Sports F1, quote, "Breaking, Helmut Marko has received a written warning and been reminded of his responsibilities as a public figure in motorsport in line with the FIA Code of Ethics," unquote.
Oh, that sounds juicy. What are the reactions like?
Well, user Chris Sosu comments, quote, "3 written warnings and that's a citation," unquote. Then Racing Fan 96 adds, quote, "5 citations, and you're looking at a violation," unquote.
And what does the violation lead to?
Alonso Hamilton 1444 chimes in, quote, "For those, and you'll receive a verbal warning," unquote.
That sounds like a lot of warnings before any serious action is taken.
Indeed, and it doesn't stop there. Gator 588 continues, quote, "Keep it up and you're looking at a written warning," unquote. And then NoUGH adds, quote, "2 of those and you're looking at a world of hurt. in a form of a disciplinary review written up by me and placed on the desk of my immediate superior, unquote.
And just when you think it couldn't get any more complicated, I suppose someone else chimes in?
You're spot on. SimpleGrad96 replies, quote, which would be _me_, unquote. Then Logomorph says, quote, okay, I want a copy on my desk by the end of the day, or you will receive a full disadulation, unquote.
A full disadulation? Now, that's a new one to me.
It seems it was to others too. Another trad comments, quote, what's a dis, what's that, unquote, to which JC9289 replies, quote, oh, you don't want to know, unquote.
I must say, our internet friends do know how to keep a conversation going. Anything else catching your attention?
Yes, Miracle states, quote, they might as well put points on his license for all the good this will do, unquote.
I do love the candidness of these online discussions, don't you?
Absolutely. There's never a dull moment in the world of internet comments.
That brings us to the end of another fascinating episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. Today, we delved into the strategies of McLaren and the internet's reaction to the latest developments in the F1 community. We're grateful for your company and support. Remember to subscribe and activate notifications so you never miss a beat. Sharing our episodes with your F1 buddies, or even during a chat over a pint, really helps us out.
Absolutely. And you'll want to stick around, we've got some cracking episodes lined up for you. We're here every day, bringing you all the insights, discussions, and delightful banter from the world of Formula One.
We're looking forward to having you with us for the next episode. Your support fuels our passion for Formula One, and we hope our episodes add to your enjoyment of the sport.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Enzo. We'll keep the engine revving and the news flowing. Stay tuned, and until next time. Both, pedal to the metal, keep your gaze on the road, our channel's content is pure gold.